everyone, my name is Sarah Musa and thank you very much for watching Speak Encouraging Messages. So today, our topic is Be You Part 2. God created each of us with a specific plan in mind. The question is, do we believe that we are one of a kind? It is a matter of our perspective on our life and the words that we're proclaiming upon our lives. Are we uplifting ourselves and examining ourselves? And do we understand that our uniqueness cannot be replicated by anyone else? Often, we are so discontent with who we are. We pick on our flaws, disqualify ourselves, and degrade ourselves with our own words. We look to others with admiration, but when it comes to ourselves, we are displeased with ourselves. Well, starting from today, we must change the way we talk to ourselves. We should practice kindness to ourselves. We must embrace our internal and external beauty. The scripture says in Ephesians 2 verses 10, "For we are God's masterpiece." Thus, if our Creator considers us to be a masterpiece, we must believe that we are one. We have a glorious life that God has destined for us. In Jeremiah 29 verse 11, it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." God has wonderful plans for us. And before we can see that manifest, we must believe in ourselves and the God that we serve. We are not ordinary. No. We serve a supernatural God who works through us. And thus, we are extraordinary. As the scripture says, we are His masterpiece. Our Creator wants to dwell in us and impact His wisdom upon our lives. But are we available? Do we disqualify ourselves even before the journey begins? So our topic is Be You Part 2. Now that means embracing our flaws and realizing that we're not created to emulate anyone else, but to simply be ourselves. Let's talk about David and how at a young age he knew who he was and the God he serves. In the book of 1 Samuel, we meet a young man by the name of David, who is the youngest of his brothers. So here, David learns about a giant named Goliath who's over 9 feet tall. Everyone is intimidated by Goliath, and no one wants to fight him. David knew the God that he serves and the power that is deposited in him. He was confident of the work that God can do through him to defeat Goliath. Thus, David stepped up and declared that he will fight Goliath. Now let's take a look at the scripture in 1 Samuel verses 17, 38 to 40. It says, "Then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David fastened on his sword over the tunic and tried walking around because he was not used to them. 'I cannot go in these,' he said to Saul, 'because I am not used to them.' So he took them off. Then he took a staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, and placed them in the pouch of his shepherd bag. And with his sling in his hand, he approached the Philistine." Note how David did not immediately tell Saul that he will go and fight Goliath in Saul's army gear. David knew what he is capable of doing and what he is used to. He did not covet Saul's gear. Instead, David stated that he cannot go in these, and then he took the action of removing them. Sometimes we end up getting ourselves in trouble when we pick up something that we're not meant to pick up. We decide to take on a career because someone else has that career. We're trying to keep up with others, but we do not know ourselves. David knew that he could not fight in Saul's gear, and he decided to approach Goliath with his 5 stones and sling. He ended up defeating Goliath. He stayed true to himself and his skills. So today, I urge us to look deep within and understand our unique self. We are not created to be like anyone else. We are created to be ourselves. So let us embrace our gifts, talents, and understand that we have an important purpose to fulfill on earth. If we are emulating others, we are robbing ourselves of the chance to fully develop and have God's unique plans materialize in us. Our assignment is to examine our speech and not say negative words or statement about ourselves. Instead, we should use our speech to edify ourselves and not pull ourselves down. In addition, we should start embracing our uniqueness and realize that we are irreplaceable, priceless, and loved by a perfect God. So please, just pray with me and let us ask God to give us insight into our lives and enable us to embrace our unique self. As always, thank you so very much for listening, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.